Thanks for clicking through to Chamber Web TV. These are one-on-one interviews with business and political leaders in our community. And from the business community from Portland, Oregon, I have my good friend from the Chamber Network, social media expert, Frank Kenny. Frank, how are you?
I'm really good. Thanks
You're
for having me.
Good.
Thank you.
I
very
love
much.
the fact that you took the opportunity to come to little old Cambridge, Ontario.
Well, not so little. I'm very impressed by the industry and the people and the turnout. 100 people to your chamber event today, so good time.
Yeah, I think it was really good. We had the opportunity to go see one of our biggest employers, Toyota, and you had an opportunity to see how a Corolla, Matrix, and Lexus RX 350 are made. And quite impressive, eh?
Amazing plant. 6 football fields, no bigger than that. It's just a giant. Very impressive, no doubt about it. Very professional and kicking out a lot of cars. So thank you for the tour. It opened my eyes in some ways of what they're doing.
Yeah, so. that's very good. No, it's a pleasure, and I know it's a pleasure for Toyota too. They love to show off their facility and of course their vehicles. But Frank, I got you here and I dragged you into our studio here at the Chamber because I think it's critically important. We had 100 people this morning listening to your talk and your expertise and what you found throughout the business community and how social media is affecting business. But I thought we really needed to sit here in the studio tonight and talk a little bit about what's really important to business from a social media perspective. Businesses that I know all want to embrace it. Mm-hmm. They think it might be good, but they're not quite sure where it fits in their scheme of things. Today at lunch, you had the opportunity to sit around the table with a travel agent and a manufacturer.
Right.
2 different perspectives of what social media means to them. So first of all, my first question to you, and that I want you to explain to the listeners who are probably business owners or in business, how important is it for a business, especially a small business, to be engaged in social media today?
I think it's become absolutely critical. If you plan on being in business and staying in business and remaining relevant to your customer base, your customer base is now on social media. If your customer base is young people, they're about 100% on social media. If they're older demographics, they're migrating to social media in huge numbers. The fastest group, according to Pew Research, is baby boomers adopting social media. So
that's me.
Yeah,
I'm in the baby boom category.
You're finally part of a winning group.
That's all my fault. I know that.
So if you intend to remain relevant in your business, you need to be where your customers are, and you need to communicate in their language. And I just don't think that you have much of an option. You can wait for all the old 20th century models of advertising to fully collapse, which they're in the process of doing, in my opinion. Or you can be out ahead of it and use your activities on social media as a competitive advantage.
Now, what was really interesting this morning was you were talking about, traditionally, we put an ad in the paper to market our business, and it's, Joe's Cafe, we got the best coffee in town.
Right.
Well, that's Joe's opinion of who's got the best coffee in town.
Right.
You were talking about a different way of marketing from a social media perspective, and maybe you want to talk just a little bit about that in comparison to that ad you'd put in the paper of Joe's Coffee Place, I got the best coffee in town.
Well, the model used to be that you would take an advertising budget, say 3% of your annual dues or annual income as a business, and you'd put that towards ads, commercials, various things that would interrupt people in their normal stream of daily life. And if you did it enough times with frequency, it starts sinking in, and then eventually they tried Joe's Coffee because they kept seeing the ads. Today, we don't read the newspaper as much. We flip through the ads. We don't have time for ads. Those advertising are becoming invisible to us. Plus, we know Joe's going to say, hey, he has the best coffee.
Of course.
And, no harm, no foul. You expect that of the business owner. But really, what I care about is what my friends think of Joe's Coffee. And so, from Joe's perspective, if he's just going to take that advertising budget and put it towards advertising avenues that are working less and less and less, then he's going to get less and less and less business. Instead, what I recommend is go where your customers are, and it's on social media, and post interesting stories about what Joe's Coffee stands for, how you help the community, where the beans are roasted, are they ecological, all these kind of things to where the story of your business breaks through the clutter to my worldview, because I care about those things. And it's like, oh, I kind of like Joe's Coffee. This resonates with me. The story is breaking through the clutter to me. And then if I see a few people I know comment underneath those posts, say it's on Facebook, and it's like, love Joe's Coffee, or can't wait to get my morning coffee from Joe's, all of a sudden the customers become Joe's salespeople, and they have the credibility. And that's just the way of things today. And if I just want to encourage you to get there early in the game, because laggards rarely do well in business. You have to be out in front of the wave and be positioned in front of the crowds.
So the real message here is, it's not Joe saying he's got good coffee. Mm-hmm. It's Joe's customers saying he's got good coffee. And we all know in business, there's nothing better than a referral. If somebody can say to you, you got to go and see Joe because Joe's got the best coffee, that's probably the best referral you can get.
Yeah, it's word of mouth and referrals are the gold standard of marketing. You barely give it another thought if somebody recommends a product to you and you trust their opinion, and they've always come through in the past. Mm-hmm. You generally see eye to eye on things, and they recommend something to you. You're not going to go out and do a bunch of additional research. You just give that person, your friend, the benefit of the doubt. And so when Joe or whoever it is, your business, starts turning your customers or allowing your customers to be brand evangelists for you, telling the world that it's a good business, they give back to the community, they have great products, the price is good, all those things we'll believe if it comes from a friend. We don't care if Joe says it, because of course he's going to say it.
Well, and of course Joe's going to say it, because Joe's trying to sell coffee.
Yeah, and Joe's a good guy.
Joe probably loves his coffee.
Yeah, and it probably, some people would agree that the coffee is great. Mm-hmm. But when it comes from Joe, I'll take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
But if it comes from a good friend, or 5 or 6 good friends, or 10 strangers, where the general assessment is clearly this is a place for me to check out, then I'm in. And it's the power of word of mouth, and it's all digital through social media. It's seeded by the business owner through what they post, by posting interesting stories and big pictures and things of that nature. They create the story, and then the customers chime in and validate the story. And it's basically free. It's your time. And as a business owner, you work 24/7, 365 any day anyways. So you might as well use some of that time. And that marketing budget that historically has been set aside, maybe some of that money can go back into your pocket or into some other avenue, because most of this stuff is free.
Yeah. Now, that being said, it's very important. The message is clear on telling your story and trying to get advocates for your business as opposed to you being the only advocate. That makes good sense in any business at any era, really. But you've got Google+, you've got Facebook, you've got LinkedIn, you've got Twitter, you've got, there's a myriad of social media platforms that people use. Where should business be?
You should be where your customers are. That's the first thing, is think about, all right, who is my target market? Exactly who is my target market? And if you're a business-to-consumer company in a town like Cambridge, and you're selling to families, they're on Facebook. The vast majority of them have Facebook accounts, and they're conversing with friends and family and that sort of thing. Well, your company should be there too. On the other hand, if you're a business-to-business company and your customers are worldwide, they're not on your local Facebook. They're on LinkedIn and talking about the industry and looking for the latest information. So that's where you go. So you have to think about each social networking site exists for a reason. They don't duplicate each other. They each have their own place. And you're just going to have to do some research or call somebody like you that has your ear to what's working and find out, now, where is my target market? Search them out and then provide value to them. Entertain them through your posts, or provide information, curate content. Like a museum curator takes the best art from the basement and the best art from the attic and puts those on the walls. But they don't flood the whole museum with things that people really don't need to see. When you go to a museum, you know you're going to be shown the best. Well, your industry, all industries, have the need for curators. There's just so much content, so much information coming at us nowadays. We need somebody that can save me time as a consumer. So if you're a plumber, be posting things that I, as a homeowner, need to know about plumbing, so that I become familiar with your company, that it's every time I've needed something, I Google search for plumbers in Cambridge, I come across these helpful posts, and then if I do need individual help, I'll pick up the phone and use that plumber, because we've established a relationship and I know you know what you're talking about, and I feel like you've given value first. You got to give to get. But once you're established and you own the keywords for your industry, like plumbers in Cambridge, you need to own plumbers in Cambridge and make sure you're using that in your descriptions and your keywords on Facebook and LinkedIn. And if you have a blog, use those keywords. And just think about, how can you be of value and service to prospects today so that they become customers tomorrow?
Exactly. And you talked a little bit about, you mentioned it just a minute ago, about people searching on Google. I think, phone books have almost gone by the wayside. I don't know anybody, I'm not even sure. I think I'm actually sitting on one, maybe.
Okay,
but but I don't use it for anything else but that. Normally, everybody just jumps on Google and to get their service that they need. You talked a little bit about Google Plus. Really critical if you want to be there on Google. If you want to be at the top of those searches, you got to be on Google Plus.
Yeah, I highly, highly recommend that you sign up personally and for your business on Google Plus, because Google has this strategy that they've implemented of merging search and social. And of course, Google owns search, and because they're overlaying social on all their products, if you want your business to show up high in the search engine results, one of the things that you need to do is make sure Google knows that your business exists, Google Plus, because then when somebody does that search, that algorithm that Google uses will place your business over somebody else's that isn't, your competitors, that isn't on Google Plus. So, I mean, it's
that's really important.
It's really important. People spend thousands and thousands of dollars to make sure that their search engine optimization is right and all their keywords are right. And then along comes Google and they say, hey, we have a new product, Google Plus, that's a social networking site. You need to be on here if you want to be on the tops on here. And so they're tying it all together, which is, it's not quite blackmail, but it's basically Google is the 800-pound gorilla of search. Yep. This is the new rules. So sign up on Google Plus, get your business on there, and get on there personally. You might actually enjoy it because it's different from Facebook. So. And
I think then, we get to the final thing. I don't want to take away any thunder from the webinars that are going to be coming your way at some point on the Cambridge Chamber website, or even at frankjkenny.com, but you need to bring these all together. Somehow, I can't, as much as I really enjoy it, I certainly bought into the social media atmosphere from a chamber perspective. I can't be on Facebook, I can't be on LinkedIn, I can't be on Twitter, I can't be on Google Plus all day long.
Right.
It just takes too much time, and there are other things to do. What do you suggest when we bring them together?
Well, at the very least, I would bank out parts of your day. In the morning when you're having your coffee, you should check out what's going on those sites. At lunch, when you're checking email, also see if your customers have mentioned you on Facebook, and you should do a search using a free service like Social Mention or Google Alerts that will tell you if people are talking about you and your business. If you want to take it to the next level, there are now social CRMs, customer relationship management platforms coming online, and it's still a pretty new idea. But what it does is it takes the work you're doing on social and ties together your history, your business history, your customers that you've had over the years, and it ties that together to where you can stay in better touch with your customers, because it'll go find, the social part will go find them and line them up to where you can see, how do I know these people and what have they been talking about, and you can build relationships that way. We talked today about a company called Nimble that is in the social CRM space, and I think it's got a really, really strong solution. Salesforce.com, and there's many others that are doing this, but it's a whole new way of pulling together all the sites into one place. It's your social CRM. And then you don't have to have all 5 or 6 of the social media sites open plus your email. It's all pulled together in one place.
I think that's one of the challenges that business owners, now are looking at and saying, do I have to hire, all kinds of new staff just to do my social media. Well, some companies that are big are going to have to do that. But again, you're taking that out of that marketing budget, so your costs probably won't be any more. You're just diverting or rechanneling your expenses. But I think using a platform like you showed this morning, Nimble, for example, which is very cost effective. You can pull all of those social media platforms together into one, and even your client management system, your email system into that as well. Manage all of the people that you have contacts with, that you want to develop relationships with, that you want to do business with. And I think that's the important part, that this doesn't have to be as complicated as the myriad of social media platforms that are out there. You can harmonize that and deal with it in one area.
Right, absolutely. Don't overthink social media, because it's all about social, it's all about relationships. Business really, from time immemorial, was about who you knew. You would know your local blacksmith. Back in the day, you would know the various people you did business with. It's really a 20th century phenomenon to where people really don't know the people they do business with. But now it's coming full circle back to what we used to know as we in history of you basically do business with people you know, like, and trust, and you build relationships with people. And that way, you don't have to guess whether you're going to get good service or whether the business is honest or trustworthy, because you have a relationship with the owner and the employees and the staff. So I think it's a great thing that we're getting away from the 20th century, where massive marketing budgets of mega corporations could just outspend all the small business people in order to get eyeballs and to break through the clutter. They interrupt you until you just comply. Those days are kind of going away, because relationships now are back.
Yeah.
And relationships trump money.
Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely. Well, stay tuned at CambridgeChamber.com for a lot more from Frank Kenny. We had Frank Kenny just for a morning. We're going to have him back. That's for sure. Follow him on Twitter at Frank Kenny. Visit his website, frankjkenny.com. Frank, I can't wait to have you back in Cambridge again.
Hey, my pleasure. I can't wait myself. I'm looking forward to it.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.